Hello, my name is Mordred Viking and I'd like to welcome you to this brand new series of Stellaris, which has got the MegaCorp update added in. Stellaris has once again undergone bold changes. In 2.2, the focus of the changes has been to rework how you develop planets and to deepen the game's economy. The purpose is to make the management of planets more fun and engaging. Tiles are gone and have been replaced with districts, buildings and jobs. You will now instead construct city districts, farming districts, mining districts and generator districts, as well as various buildings with more specialised roles. Districts and buildings provide jobs, and a job worked by a pop will produce resources. As a planet gains more pops, you will unlock more building slots. Buildings work similar to how they did before, but now most of them provide jobs instead of producing resources directly. 2.2 also introduces a new trade route system. What you essentially want to do is collect trade value. Trade. Found in space and produced by planets. Huzzah! 94th Min, thank you so much for that. That's 6 months, half a year. Awesome. Go explore the galaxies and conquer them in the name of Mordred. Huzzah! Huzzah indeed. So yes, trade value found in space and produced on planets by upgrading a nearby starbase. You should then set up a trade route leading back to your home system. Trade value is converted into usable resources when it reaches your trade capital. So that looks very similar to the trade system in EU4, except it's dynamic and I think you can choose the route it goes. So rather than trade always flowing east to west, now it can go in circles and up and down and left and right and up and down, and I said that one already. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm also really panicked because I have not had a single chance to test this out yet. So what I was telling the stream before I started actually recording this, I just got home. Like, I've had the code for 2 days just burning a hole in my pocket, but I did not have access to a computer. So just got home, got it on, 9 minutes, enough time to get a cup of pot of tea and loaded it up. So that is literally everything I've seen, plus the features video which they posted up, and then also the quick chat with Quill and other people. Due to the size and the scope of the changes, save games from previous versions will not be compatible with version 2.2. If you wish to continue your old save in version 2.2, follow the forum link below and read the script, blah 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 blah, read stuff. Okay, don't show me that again. I get that. So we're going to load up a new game. We're going to take a look at the new customization faction creator thing and see exactly what those possibilities are. So if you're not that interested in seeing the new faction options, then you probably need to skip ahead a bit. People on YouTube, if you could do timestamps, that would be really helpful, because I know that this bit usually goes a bit slow for some people, but I'm really fascinated to see what's new here, so this is going to be awesome. Have I read the diaries? No. I relied entirely on that features video. Admit it, Mordred, you're mostly excited for the... Yeah, I am totally excited for the trade. But this whole update is about the economy. Like, I'm just really hyped about that. I always thought Stellaris' economy was okay. It certainly wasn't to the level of EU4's economy. But it was passable, but it very much lacked having trade. And I was really excited when I saw just how they'd managed trade. I was really expecting trade routes like you have in Civilization, I'll be honest. But it looks like they've gone for the EU4 model, which actually looks like it's going to work really well. And from what Quill was saying, it seems to. But we're going to discover that together, because there's a lot of nuances and a lot of actually really cool stuff, which I like that they've done in this. And also makes starbases a heck of a lot more important, both in terms of them generating cash, and also the defences. And we'll talk about that, because pirates are a thing. The one thing I don't know is whether you as a player can manipulate those pirates, but I know for sure that pirates are definitely a thing. Alright, so I'm just going to stick with the humanoid right now, because I don't think any of these are new. No, I'm pretty sure those aren't. We are going to be calling ourselves MegaCorp, just to kind of give you an idea of what I will ultimately be going for. But this is just kind of a placeholder for now. Objective, MegaCorp. What's the plural? MegaCorps? MegaCorps? MegaCorp. MegaCorps attempts to do... Yeah, probably. Oh, these are the species. Hang on. I always get this one wrong. I always expect the empire name to come first and the species later, but it never does. Alright, so name list, traits. These, I think, may have some new things. So, already we are seeing here, food from jobs, plus 15%. So rather than just generating a straight-up bonus to food, it's the food from the jobs, which is then converted into a dish. I'm missing an E. I'm not. So that would be agrarian. Whoops, didn't mean to actually select that. Ingenious, energy credits from jobs. Industrious, minerals from jobs. Intelligent, engineering research, physics and society research from jobs. Was that always from jobs? Yeah, that was planetary research before, I think. Trade value from jobs. So thrifty, already getting in with the trade stuff right there. Natural engineers, engineering research from jobs. So that's not just a blanket increase, that is from jobs. I think that this one used to be a blanket. I don't remember. Habitability, plus 20%. Adaptive, plus 10%. Non-adaptive, minus 10. Rapid breeders, pop growth, plus 10. Pop growth, minus 10. Leader, level cap, plus 1. Leader level experience gain, plus 25. Minus 25. Unity from jobs, plus or minus. Army damage, worker output. So I guess worker output is for all things. It's not just mineral production, which is what it used to be. That's interesting. Nomadic, pop growth from immigration. Ooh. So because they are pops rather than just individual things that you just plonk down somewhere, I guess that immigration can play into that. And also it's a lot easier to have different races having pops on your planets now, I think. So we'll see. We've Mordred for both single and plural, okay. Like I said, that's not finalized, so we'll go back to that once I've kind of discovered all the new stuff. Pop housing usage. Oh, communal, so they require less houses or more houses if they're solitary. Amenities from jobs, plus 20%, so... That looks like some kind of happiness characteristics. Interesting, okay, so they're better at producing those. Governing ethics attraction. Ooh, the conformist is twice as effective as the deviants. Interesting. Venerable, enduring, fleeting, we've seen those before. Decadent, worker happiness minus 10, slave happiness minus 10. Slaves have an entirely new importance in this, because there is actually a global market where you can buy and sell resources that really taps into trade in this game. And part of that slave market, if you are a slaver race, is slave trade. So you can use, for example, the despoilers to capture populations from planets and then stick them in the slave market and sell them to others. That is a legit playstyle. Defense, army damage plus 50. Is that always that strong? That's pretty strong. Pop consumer goods upkeep minus 10%. So rather than populations costing money for further upkeep, they now have an actual consumer goods upkeep, and consumer goods are another of the goods which are in the game. So there's a couple more resources now than there were before. Consumer goods being one of them. Alloys, I think, being the second. I mean, we'll find all of this stuff out for sure when we actually get into the game. But you can already see there's a couple of new things there, especially with the pop stuff. Now, I know that if we go for a machine, those traits are different, aren't they? No. Actually have to click a machine. There we go. Power drills, minerals, energy, resources from jobs, plus 5%. So efficient processors, they're just 5% better at everything. Interesting. That's the thing that the organics don't have. Logic engines, double jointed. That's the pop housing usage. That's funny. Bulky increases pop usage. Enhanced memories, leader level cap. Amenities from jobs down. Robot upkeep minus. So I think robots still cost energy credits to maintain. Experience gain. Pop assembly speed plus 15%. So one big change is how robots are produced. Rather than just going to every tile and saying build pop, build pop, build pop. The jobs actually generate the robots now. So if you have an automated assembly, for example, then it will generate robots over time to work the jobs that it provides, and then depending on your population assembly speed will determine how quickly those robots get built to fill the job spaces. So that is now automated. You do not need to do that yourself, I believe. Pop assembly speed down, pop assembly cost down, and then cost up if they're luxurious versus recycled. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. All the other updates are useless, but trade! Non-slavers can buy slaves too unless they've changed that. That might be a policy decision. So I know that the policies play a much, much bigger role in the game now. We will explore exactly what that means because I think it'll be easier to explain when we're actually in the game and we can see the policies. But for example, you can have different classes of people in your empire, and depending on their class will determine, or their strata as they call it in this, will determine the consumer goods that they require. And also I think like their food consumption. Another change is different races use different suppliers for like their base food. So like organics will use food still, but I think robots use something else, and there's something that uses something else still. I don't know exactly how that works because I have not investigated that very well yet. Excuse me while I prepare my tea supplies. Hey Fred. And hello everyone. It's really good to see you all. I've been looking forward to the stream for a while. Seriously, this code has been burning a hole in my pocket. Last night I got to the hotel at midnight, having had a couple of beverages, and I must admit I was like, I really want to play Stellaris now. Why did I not bring my laptop with me? Hey, Chaos Gemini. Yeah, MegaCorp. Being excited to see the changes. Me too. Like I said before, I was talking to Quill and to A Kiss for Luck about all the changes and everything that's been going on in the game, but I haven't seen it for myself yet. What are the hive mind traits? Well, we haven't got to that yet. Those are governments, and there are some new government things. I'm just going through these one by one. That's all the same. City appearances, I believe, are all the same. And here we go. Governments and ethics. And as you can see, there's a couple of new ones. So we've still got the democratic, oligarchic, dictatorial, imperial, hive mind, which we'll need to choose the hive mind for, machine intelligence, and then the corporate, which we will get into. So Byzantine bureaucracy, pop amenities usage minus 10%, pop housing usage minus 10%. You can construct the bureaucratic complex and buildings that add additional administrator jobs. So Byzantine bureaucracy is probably going to work very well with corporate, and we'll talk about why in just a moment. Pop growth in the corvée system, pop growth from immigration up, resettlement cost down. So corvée system plus the immigration thing could mean that you have very quick growth of populations which are not your own, which I think comes into the migration treaties a little bit more now than they used to. Before they were kind of an opaque thing, you just did them and eventually you got some people, but I think now immigration's going to be a far more active situation. Edicts 20% cheaper, admin cap plus 20. So this is one thing I have not looked into very much yet, but I think that admin cap is tied into the number of planets you can rule, or maybe the number of population on those planets, and possibly star bases? I don't know. Like I said, administration is one of the things I have not looked at. It says corporates get a plus 20% administration cap, but their empire size is plus 50% penalty. So corporations tend to be smaller but taller. So I guess the admin cap is the number of people you can control on a planet. And then the actual, like, how wide your nation is reduced for the corporates. So that kind of ties into the Byzantine bureaucracy. You can have additional administrators, which gives you more administration cap, or administration point, maybe. And then the efficient bureaucracy means that your cap is even higher. So that combined with corporate would mean you have extremely tall planets, or extremely large planets, I assume. Environmentalist pop consumer goods upkeep is down. Functional architecture reduces build cost and upkeep for all buildings and districts by 10%. Nice. Life-seeded homeworld is Gaia, with several rare planetary features. Habitability preferences set to Gaia. Everything else becomes undesirable. Merchant guilds. Capital buildings provide merchant jobs. Merchants also produce unity. So merchants, I assume, produce trade value, which works very similar to European Universalis. As your planets produce trade value, that is then added to a pool of cash, and as you shift that pool of cash around and it eventually reaches your homeworld, you can then convert that trade value into actual resources. I don't know if that's just energy credits or if it's other resources. In the dev diaries, they kind of hinted it was other stuff, but I've also heard it's just energy, so we'll see. But then the other thing you could probably do, if that's not true, is you get energy credits and you spend those to get other resources on the global market. So either way, you have a lot more stuff. Hey, Enigmatic Rose, how are you doing? Click on the MegaCorp. Government has different civics. Yes, I'm going to go through them because people have also been asking about the hive minds. And a lot of this stuff is new for me as well. Meritocracy, level cap and pool size. I think that's much the same. Minerals from miners just +1. Not percentage, just +1. Mining guilds use to improve mining stations, don't they? Faction influence +25, stability +5, and enforcers also produce unity. So one of the things which your planets can produce is crime, and I believe that crime is tied into the chance of being pirated. And one of the ways that you can reduce that is by having enforcers, who basically are a police force. One of the other situations, if you're playing with the crime corporations, then, sorry, the criminal corporation, then having a high crime in their planet is desirable because it will increase the amount of money that you're generating from their systems. So that's one of the other things that corporations can do, is they can create branches on other people's planets, which make money. Usually you need to get permission. The crime syndicates don't need to get permission, and the more crime present on that planet, the more profit they make, and also their branches produce crime. So if you find that you're next door to a crime syndicate, then you're going to want a lot of those enforcers. So that's the police state. Post-apocalyptic, you're on Tomb World, which means they're also more habitable and you have longer life. Election influence cost -75. Start the game with 12 pops being of another subservient species. So that's the syncretic evolution. That's much the same. And I'm just going to go through these, even though they are disabled for this current government. Agrarian Idle. Generator mining. Agriculture districts produce 1 more housing. Cities produce 1 less housing, so you get more out of just rural places rather than cities. And I guess the cities are where you can place like factories and the merchants and stuff like that. Tomb World, can we be Necrons? That's possible, yes. You can play as the Necrons. Kind of. In fact, yes, you basically can. Farmers produce 2 amenities. Amenities are happiness, I think we basically established. Oh, I see. The corporations have different civics, so you can't use the Byzantine corporation thing. Okay, gotcha. No, I was exactly thinking that, Enigmatic Rose. And thank you for correcting me, because I would have been confused and then disappointed. So, Beacon of Liberty, monthly unity +15%. Citizen service, soldiers also produce 1 unity, naval capacity increased by 15. Distinguished Admiralty, ship fire rate +10, Admiral leader cap, level cap, and command limit +10. That seems to have gone up a bit. Huzzah! Hey, Warbird, haven't seen you for a while, how are you doing? 15 months, flipping hell. You are up there in like the top 3 for longest subscriptions, I believe. It's good to see so many familiar faces, and so many new ones as well, this is awesome. Fanatic Purifiers, cannot engage in diplomacy with other species, Purification CB, Xenoporps will always be purged, gains unity from purging, use Armageddon, ship fire +33, army damage +33, ship cost, yeah, that's pretty much the same. Feudal Society, the effects of subject power on relations is reduced by 50%, but all subjects are allowed to expand into unclaimed territories, so you just have less control over your minions, but they give you more. Pop growth from immigration +15%. You can really ramp up the immigration. Immigration pull +50%. So I guess pull is how likely someone's to choose your nation versus somebody else's nation to move to. Citizen pop happiness +5. Imperial cult edict duration. Governing ethics. Inward perfection. Cannot have rivals. Defensive pacts. Migration treaties. Guarantee independence. Federations. Infiltrate primitives. Or have subjects, however you get more unity. More pop growth speed. And citizen pop happiness. I think that's one that goes... No, it's just a pacifist. Okay. Do you have to be pacifist and xenophobe for that? Spiritualist. Xenophile. No, you need both. Okay. Mechanist. Start the game with 8 pops of robots and with the technology and infrastructure to build more. Nationalistic zeal, war exhaustion gain reduced, claim influence cost reduced. Ruler level cap +2, that's pretty good. Shared burdens, allow shared burdens, living standards under which all pops have a moderate consumer goods upkeep regardless of strata. Disables the use of most other living standards, increases stability +5. Slaver guild, slave output +10%, enslaved pop ratio 40%. I guess that means 40% of your population is always going to be enslaved? Technocracy, capital buildings produce some administrator jobs. Science directors, researchers also produce unity. Ooh, hello. Requires some degree of materialist, okay. Army damage +20%, army upkeep +20%. So all of the regular governments should have the same. I don't think... Well, they do have unique stuff, but I think that would have shown up already. Pretty sure. Alright, so let's take a look at the hive mind. So they are aesthetic. Pop them into usage down. Wrong, city districts have the highest housing capacity but don't produce jobs. Gotcha, okay. Where's Dana now? Yeah, you won that one, Marshall. You definitely won that one. I have to say I spent way too long on the screen before any updates. Now I'd be here all day. They've definitely expanded the possibilities in Stellaris, like, pretty dramatically. I like how the shared burdens is a sickle. Yeah, and one of the crests I've seen is a hammer and a, like, robotic sickle. MegaCorps, because he needs to feed the kids. Oh man, that's probably one of my favourite conversations that we've ever had on Discord. We're just coming up with all of the different possible slogans for MegaCorps. In fact, screw it, I'm going to read some of them out because they are pretty funny. Let's go back to this. Where are they? There they are. Flipping hell, there are a lot. MegaCorps, killing trade everywhere. MegaCorps, death delivered, fast. MegaCorps, your death, our money. MegaCorps, you pay, we punch. MegaCorps, servicing your daily death needs every day, door to door. MegaCorps, all you have to do is die, the rest is up to us. MegaCorps, what's ours is ours, damn it. MegaCorps, what's yours is ours. MegaCorps, it's not... this is not our world. Disappointed! Which is where the title came from. MegaCorps, we deliver the best Mord in the galaxy. MegaCorps, repossession on a galactic scale. MegaCorps, resistance is futile. MegaCorps, servicing our interests, now get in the brick. MegaCorps, serving our own interests, now get back to work! MegaCorps, all for one and more for me. MegaCorps, we own you. And many, 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 many more. Seriously, there are loads. If you haven't had a chance to see those yet, I would heartily recommend you go over to our Discord and join the discussion and come up with even more awesome slogans. Maybe I should try and make it a thing to have every, like, stream have a different slogan. I like that idea, actually. I'm going to need to have just, like, a list of slogans. So, get making slogans. Alright, so back to this. Devouring Swarm cannot engage in diplomacy, has the hunger CB and all other empires. Inner pops will always be eaten. Gain society research from eating. Ship hull points increased. Daily hull regen increased. Ooh, interesting. Star base influence cost reduced by 50. Army damage increased by 40. Something increased by 20. They don't actually list what. Everything increased by 20. Ship cost reduced by 25. Naval cost naval capacity increased by 33. Admin cap +20. Research alternatives +1. Monthly unity +15. Leader cap +1. And pool +1. Army damage +30. Upkeep -20. Naval capacity 15. Edict cost -20. Machine intelligence. Constructor bot reduces build cost and upkeep for all buildings and districts by 10%. Leader upkeep -25%. Leader pool size +1. Determined exterminator. Capital starts as a tomb world. Cannot engage in diplomacy with organic species. Has a purification CB on organics. Will always purge organics. Gains unity from purging organic pops. May use Armageddon. Ship weapon increased. Starbase influence cost decreased. Ship cost reduced. Naval capacity increased. So that's the same as the Fanatic Purger dudes. Start the game with 10 cyborg pops and the ability to assimilate organics as cyborgs. Assimilating an organic pop generates a small amount of unity and society research. Non-assimilating organic pops are automatically purged over time as the assimilation CB. So you are basically the Borg. I didn't realise that they actually just added the Borg. That's hilarious. Factory overclocking, +1, leader cap, +10, leader experience gain. That was one of my favourite choices. You could really get some very, very, very strong robotic leaders, and because they're immortal, like, that can really rank up and rack up pretty swiftly. In fact, I feel like that used to be level cap +2. I think they may have actually decreased that. Probably quite wise. Research speed for engineering +20%. That's huge. Edict cost down. Assembly speed +20%. Minerals from miners +1. Rogue servitors start the game with 5 organic pops with bio trophy citizenship and mandatory pampering living standards. Can construct organic sanctuaries, buildings that allow bio trophies produce unity. Cannot construct regular machine empire unity buildings such as the uplink node. Research alternatives +1, monthly unity, damage and upkeep, and robot upkeep down. Okay, corporate. This is the one that I know you've been all waiting for, and I've kept you there with just bated breath, wanting to know what the new stuff is. So here we go. Brand loyalty, monthly unity +15%. Criminal heritage. Mega Corporation can trace its origins back to the crime syndicate that eventually grew too powerful enough to supplement all forms of local government. Cannot form commercial pacts. Cannot join federations. That's interesting. Can build branch offices on the planets of any regular empire they have no war or active truce with. Crime on branch office planets increases. Branch office value. Can build special crime increasing corporate buildings. Effects of subsidiary subject power and relations is reduced by 33%. Franchising. Oh, that's nice. It's like the feudal version. It's the commercial feudal contract, I guess. The impact of branch offices on our empire size is decreased by 25%. So the more branch offices you have, the smaller you are? Kind of sounds that way. Trade value +10%, branch office value +10%, war exhaustion -5%, citizen pop happiness 5%. Private colony ships, admin cap +20, so I think the private colony ships will be built and AI controlled, I assume? Or are they just cheaper colony ships? I seem to remember that did used to be a thing, I just don't remember how it worked. Leader, level cap +1, leader experience +10, +4 starbase capacity. So trading posts sounds really useful for corporations, especially if you're not the crime syndicate. And then Gospel of the Masses, so this is the other, I think there's 4 types of special corporation. There's the MegaCorp, the Criminal Corp, the Evangelical Corp, and then like a hybrid evangelical / crime, I think. So the Gospel of the Masses, Spiritualist Corps give additional trade value on all planets and branch offices. They can build the Temple of Prosperity corporate building and the Spiritualist Ethics Attraction +50%. So the more spiritualists that you have in your empire, the more money you generate. Indentured assets, slave output +10%, and slave pop ratio 40%. So I think the enslaved pop ratio is the number of slaves you can have, not necessarily the number that you have. Indentured assets is slavery for commercials, corporates. Naval capacity +15%, army damage +20%, army upkeep -20%. So there we go. We've seen the different types of possibilities. And I think there's going to be a big question which I'm going to pose to you guys because, quite frankly, I am completely undecided on how I want to do this. I think branch offices take up admin points as well. Okay, gotcha. It's very annoying to have a crime syndicate in your galaxy when you're a regular corp and meet most people after the pirates. I can believe that. Can commies into space? Yes, communists can definitely into space. MegaCorp logo is a flipped Weyland-Yutani logo from the aliens. Nice. Rogue Servitor is essentially what some people believe will happen to Earth. Simulators are really fun to play. They can arguably be the best Colossus in the game because you control the planet, instantly turns all organic populations into cyborgs. Okay, that's quite impressive. Okay, so private colony ships are ones that cost energy instead of minerals. Okay. Sounds a bit like the Underworld faction in Empire at War, probably. Yeah, you can be a church of crime. Okay. I was hoping for a mercenary corps where empires could pay you to join wars. I don't think that's possible. Colony ships cost 200 food, 200 allies, and 200 consumer goods. Okay. And then the private ones is just money? Energy? Says, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Say yes? Probably say yes. Huzzah! Jackson! Love your stuff as always. Keep it up. Thank you so much for that. 5 months in a row. That's awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so as I was hinting, we need to come up with what kind of corporation we're going to play. Because we're definitely playing a corporation, I mean... obviously. So, what type of benevolent... question mark... corporation are we? All for profit. Trade. All your things belong to Mordred. Crime. And I guess Church of the Viking. Church. Yeah. Are there any other options? I mean, I know this is going into very, very basic stuff. Trade, there's crime, there's churchy. No, I'm not going to do a communist corporation. Hey, Katie! MordCorp, because we're not Comcast. Alright. I think this will do. So let me know what kind of corporation you want to do. I have to say, personally, I'm probably the least interested in doing the churchy one. I'm torn between the crime and the trade. I'm completely torn between crime and trade. The one, like, I would be 100% on the side of crime, except for the fact I don't know if privateering and piracy is actually a thing. I know that AI piracy is a thing, and I know that's related to the trade value which you do not have protected, which is related to the number of starbases you have, which is why the trade posts is so potent. But I don't know if you can actually engage in piracy and privateering yourself. That was actually a discussion I was having with Quill yesterday, whether that was possible. And then also, like, if you're at war, if you block a trade route, is it completely blocked? Does some trickle through? Does it count as interdiction rather than just a blockade? Like that, that's a whole lot of stuff that we need to discover, because I don't know. This is pretty overwhelming. 56% are going for all your things that belong to Mordred. Crime! Okay, so we're going to be the Criminal Heritage, which is already using up one of our civic picks right there. So we will need to choose carefully after that. We'll get back to the civics. We are going to, first of all... Maybe no. You can't be a Gestalt consciousness criminal. You can do church and crime. Yeah, I'm not that interested in that. You can't be a pirate. Oh. Gonna have to wait for a U4 for that one. Well, I think quite obviously we are fanatic materialists. Because it's all about the money. Absolutely everything is about the money. And militant? This is so close to what I usually play, but it does make sense. Because egalitarian materialist would be like Robin Hood. Xenophobic materialist would be colonialists. Militarist would be gangsters. Spiritualist would be what they called evangelists. Authoritarian guess it would be a monopoly? Probably. It would be like Standard Oil. Xenophile would be charities? And then pacifist materialist. That's actually the most difficult. What would a pacifist corporation be? I mean, to an extent, all corporations are pacifist. Like, except for the military ones, I guess. Private military corporations, companies, whatever the hell they're called. Mordred, making you an offer you can't refuse. And if we're doing like the whole gangster thing, I am definitely going to be an East End gangster, so get ready for a lot of very polite London. Is how I'm going to put it. And one of the funniest things is, you can make East End accents sound really scary, even though they could be positively delightful. Like, okay, so asking you in my normal accent, like, how's your mother doing? How is she? If you do that in East London, it's like, how's your mother? Is she well? It's very important. You got to look after your mother. Mothers are very, very important. It suddenly sounds like a threat. How's your mother? She well? I hope she's well. Mothers are precious, aren't they? Say hello to my little friend. Be a pacifist, xenophobe, subliminal message spreading Todd Howard. Ah, it's a little bit too close. Ooh, criminal heritage. What's that? It's you're playing as a criminal syndicate corporation. See you, Animative Rose. Thanks for dropping by. Don't let him be too good. Oh, they won't. They definitely won't. Yeah, I think materialist. I mean, sorry, militarist. We've got to be gangsters. We are just completely gangsters. The one downside to being materialist, actually, though I'm thinking about it, with crime you don't necessarily want to be at war with people. It's in your interests to not be at war and let the crime fester. I mean, provide profit. It's simply legitimate businessmen going about their everyday lives, just with a little less regulation than they perhaps should have. Since you can have... Yeah, but I'm going fanatic materialist. I want all the money. Which is actually not that useful for us. I mean, the research speed's going to be cool. But the robot upkeep minus 20% for gangsters? Maybe I shouldn't be fanatic. Well, we have to be materialist in something. And in fact, I'm somewhat surprised that materialist is not a requirement to be a corporation. Oh, what are they called? There's a really, really good group of... criminals. Crikey. Have any of you read the Night's Dawn trilogy? Night's Dawn. Because there's a criminal syndicate in that who are freaking legends. What do they call themselves? The organization. We're going to call ourselves... Oh no, we're MordCorp. See, if we were going to do like a role-playing game, I'd really like to play as the organization from Night's Dawn trilogy. Because basically the idea there is there's been some kind of accident. I don't want to spoil it, but there's been some kind of accident and historical figures have come back to life. But they do it by possessing other people. Al Capone is one of the people that comes back. He possesses a dude and then basically creates a criminal syndicate. But his organization is probably one of the most benevolent. Like, yes, they're completely into crime. Yes, they break basically all the laws. But they also have the most stringent laws about... Well, not laws. They're the most stringent guidelines about who can be possessed. Because one of the big problems was the possessed would take full control of the person that they were possessing. But the organization would not let them do that. It's like, okay, you are sharing this body with somebody. Yes, you have every right to come back, but you are sharing that body. It's not your body. It's a fantastic series. Absolutely brilliant, by the way. I unreservedly recommend it. Night's Dawn Trilogy by Peter F. Hamilton. Really, really good. I was going to put the wiki link up, but that's going to have spoilers. Don't spoil it. It's worth it. Yeah, it's a big hefty block of a book, and it's a trilogy. But it's probably the best sci-fi I've read. And one of the interesting points is you'll see a lot of planets called Tranquility, like in all kinds of things related to sci-fi. The planet Tranquility comes from Peter F. Hamilton's Night's Dawn. It's an amazing planet. It's very, very interesting what he thinks that planets could become. Right, back to the game. I keep on getting distracted. We are Criminal Heritage. We're being East End gangs. No. Alright, so the problem I'm coming across here is if we go militarist, then we don't necessarily actually want to be fighting people. Because we want to be discreetly merging our business interests to their own through nefarious means. So actually, it would kind of make sense to be xenophobes. No, not xenophobes, xenophiles. That also increases trade value. Oh, gonna reach xenophiles. Materialist xenophile. Militarist. I think that makes the most sense. We're definitely not spiritualist. We're definitely not xenophobes. Wait. No. Yeah, militarist, xenophiles. We're not pacifist. I think militarist. We're going to go with those three. So, we could have brand loyalty, which is more unity, franchising. The effects of subsidiary subject power and relations is reduced by 33%. Impact of branch offices on our empire size is decreased by 25%. Does that mean we can have more branch offices? Because if it does, that could work really well for us, because we're going to have a lot of branch offices because we can build them anywhere. That's the main thing with the criminal heritage, is we are not limited to trade agreements. We can just put them wherever the hell we want. We love all people's money. What's that thing in the middle? That is the Gestalt consciousness, which is required for the hive mind or the machine. And you cannot be Gestalt consciousness and a criminal. Yes, you can have more. Okay, so franchising is possible. Free traders. Branch office value. So our branch office is already going to be higher in value based on the amount of crime we generate. So free trade could also be a very good thing. And we believe in the freest of trade. Completely free of any regulation or oversight whatsoever. We believe in the entrepreneurial spirit to the absolute maximum. Media conglomerate's not really a thing. Neither is naval contractors. Neither is army. Private military companies, that's the term I was trying to think of earlier. Private colonies, not so much either. Leader cap, no. Trading post, that would be the only other one. But I think trading post is more for the legit trade rather than the not quite so legit trade. I think franchising is going to work really well for us. Free trade plus trading posts, that would be the other option. That would be the full out trade. We're going to make tons and tons of cash. Especially if you had that with the trade value. What's the motto of MegaCorp? We seem to be getting a lot of mottos. Katie! You'll love a duck. How's your mother, mate? Mothers are important. Wow, that's really awful. It's gone like scary Cockney to EastEnders, which is the opposite of scary, despite being in the same region of London. Sounds like he's presenting this as the meeting of a real corporation. Well, you know. You gotta get that business speak going. Alright, I've been dallying for too long, so we're gonna go back to the race stuff. So, what are we gonna be? We're gangsters. Who are the real space gangsters? Like proper East End. Gonna be talking like this for quite a lot of what's going on here. He could be a East End gangster. You wouldn't want to meet him in a darkened alley. Same with the reptiles, but reptiles usually come across as more slimy than smashy. Avians are too flighty. That was a good one. I like that one. Anthropods? Yeah, too fishy. Actually, anthropods aren't... I mean, this could also be another type of gangster. Oh, crikey, it's another film. There's going to be a lot of film references, I'm sorry, but that's kind of inherent to what we're doing here. But it's the milkshake drinking one. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. I drink your milkshake. I could see him saying that a lot. But that's more like being a nefarious merchant. That's not necessarily being a gangster. The fungus gangsters. Nah. I am Groot, the gangster. Gangster Groot. No, I think I'm going to go with the... where was he? This dude. He just looks like a gangster. He really does look like a gangster. Alright, species. We was Maudlings, though. Can you guys think of a gangster-type name? Not like Pablo Escobar, that's a little too close. I mean, for a species of gangsters. Or should I just get it Maudlings? Maudlings I always kind of see as Hordlings. They're like Zergs. Vikings. More kings. Every man a king. I think we'll stay with the S. More kings. I like it. Hey, I'm sure. Ship prefixes. I don't know. If I had the patience, I'd create my own lists. I do not have my patience. We're going to be the MKSs. I think we'll go with the UNE. I mean, the fleet should be like protection fleet. Mord Capones. Oh, I like it. Mord Capones. Very good. Would just be a Mord Capone, wouldn't it? Mord Capone ship. I'm gonna go with this one just because I like these names. So, traits. I think one of them should be thrifty. Ingenious, perhaps? I think thrifty makes a lot of sense. Adaptive would also make sense. Because we can show up wherever. Also the... Oh, the no, it wasn't charismatic. It wasn't conformists. I thought there was one which was good for immigration. Oh no, that's... Yeah, nomadic. Because we get people from everywhere, all walks of life. Join the MegaCorps. I really like the name MegaCorps, but does it really fit a gangster organization? As for Peter F. Hamilton, I liked his Commonwealth saga more. I have not read it, but I think I've heard of it. You can't have many planets and adaptives not required for branch officers. Okay, so we're going to go for thrifty because I'm curious and I want to see how that works. And we're just going to go for all the money all the time. And that's all the trait points gone. Unless we took some negatives. I'm really tempted by the nomadic. Species has a nomadic past since members often think nothing of relocating to another world. We're gonna take nomadic. And fleeting. I know this is a bad one, but when you're in the game, you don't tend to live for very long. It's a dangerous game. We're gonna do that. There's always something we can bioengineer later. Morda Nostra. Family of Mord. Mordian Consortium. See, Consortium sounds too legit. It's a front, they think you're a legal corporation, but you're not. That's true. But I think MordCorp would work better for the Uber Trader group. So this should be... So the homeworld is East London, located in the London Star. We're London gangsters. We're lock, stock, two smoke and barrels rather than Capone, even though we are called Capones. Enjoying the DLC so far? It is way too early to say, but so far, yes. Viking holdings inclusive. I like that. There we go. Where is that? We haven't actually named Empire, have we? Species name? Oh, there it is. Okay, so there are a couple of new voices.
Every successful economy is built around a hopeless cycle of repetition where we sell you the empty promise of happiness and fulfillment, and unfulfilled as ever, you still come back for more.
I hope you can hear these, because these are always good.
As the learned say, what's yours is mine, and what's mine is also mine.
That sounds suspiciously like MordCorp.
Workers of the galaxy, unite. You have nothing to lose but your restraining fields. The springs of cooperation flow most abundant. Those who need will receive. Those who make will make wonders.
Our multidisciplinary customer satisfaction specialists are always just a click away. Don't hesitate. Discover limitless possibilities with MegaCorp today. MegaCorp. The future is our present. Our goal is to create a galactic system that maximizes innovative self-actualization and redefines future-proof solutions for every stage of a customer's life. MegaCorp. We're with you every step of the way.
As the learned say,
these guys.
What's
Alright, so the Viking Holdings Inc. Okay, so now we need a crest. I'm going to go with blue and black because those are the colours I always use. Or is it blue and red? No, it's blue and black. Because otherwise I get all confused. Corporate. Eating planets. Do the feather. There, that's the crest I was talking about. It's like the robotic communists. Do that one. It's quite good for a corporation. Oh, they're pirate. Hang on. Oh, I quite like that. It's like a very stylized helmet. Yeah, I can see the similarities. We're going with that. And shape, okay. Actually, kind of like that shape. It's pretty good. That's also not bad. And having the circle below, it kind of looks like a planet. Oh, a sun. A sun in the sky. Go black and red. There we go. It's the East End Viking pirates going to various people's star systems and outer space. Alright, and then we need a ship class. I mean, this has kind of got to be avian. And then the ruler. Well, the ruler is going to be Mordred. The ruler title for females would be... Godmother. And for males would be Godfather Mordred. I'm trying to think what London gangsters would call each other. I'm not actually sure. Boss. Boss is so boring though. Alright, and then colours. I think the first one, to be honest. Room. Something suitably classical with a good feeling of taste. And we are, after all, a legitimate businessman. So I think the nearest thing to a spacesuit, I guess, would be that. Maybe that. That I think looks best. Oh, and we never chose the world type because I totally forgot. Name and class. Here we are. Starting solar system, whatever. I generally go for the cold worlds just because I prefer things cold, and also it's winter. I usually go like Alpine. Alpine with Space Vikings. East End Space Vikings. Yeah, I already did the female name. Godfather and Godmother. Ah! You're Viking, shouldn't you have Viking titles? Ooh. Gaffer. Gaffer. The Gaffer's more football, though. Capo di tutti capi is mafia. We're not really mafia. We're gangsters. This is the Russian mafia. No, this is the Scandinavian mafia. Like, the male probably would be Jarl. But I don't know what the female would be. Do it in Dutch, goed vader. Good Vader. Valkyrie. Valkyrie's not really got a male... I guess Aesir or something? Well, Einherjar? Einherjar. Alright, we'll go with... Whoops. Nope, that's going to stay. Right, so the male is going to be Einherjar, which are the warriors who have chosen, or been chosen to fight in Ragnarok. Then the females are going to be Valkyrie, who are the ones who choose the Einherjar. I think those are spelt right. I think that's everything done. I'm just going to quickly save that one because I quite like this. I've put rather a lot of effort into it. Actually, we do need to go back because I need to lock out other factions from appearing. The other thing we could do is create a MordCorp, like the legit MordCorp, and force them to spawn. Yeah, I've spent an hour just doing this. It's going to be 2 full episodes on YouTube. Sorry, YouTube, but there's always so much to do.